Joining us now, ladies and gentlemen, is the senior NFL insider for ESPN, friend of the program, Michigan man. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm Schefter.
Hey, Schefty.
Schefty, what's up, brother?
Hello, everybody. How are we doing? I'm on the drive to Bristol, so hopefully we don't hit any bad Wi-Fi zones, but bear with me, and hopefully we can make it through uninterrupted.
It's okay. That's the home of sports coverage, up there in Bristol, Connecticut. I put a good tweet out about that place during the break. Had a lot of action. Tell those people I said hello up there. Now, on that note, you've been in this game a long time. Long time. How many preseasons is this? Do you remember?
I've covered the league for over 35 years, so it'd be my 35th or 6th preseason.
Okay. The Shedeur hype. How regular is this? Like once every 10 years something like this happens? Like how often do you think this type of situation, especially because he's delivering?
Yeah.
He delivered in a big way. And he has said everything right. He went to Cleveland early to go be in the community. 5th round pick of this team. Yeah. Now, granted, the people that hate him say, oh, this is bullshit. But the people that support him and think like, hey, maybe there's a chance here are like, hey, keep going. What are your thoughts on it, and how regular of a situation is this over your 35 years?
Well, I think there are always players that get your attention in the preseason. But again, very rarely have we ever seen a player who was projected to be a 1st-round pick or a high pick fall to the 5th round and play quarterback and go through everything that Shedeur went through the first couple nights of the draft. I remember Friday night, Pat, as the 3rd round was coming to a close, the number of texts that I got from people in other communities like acting, music, other sport. It was crazy the amount of people that were interested in why he slid to where he did. And he wound up going in the 5th round, so there was a ton of attention. It carries over to the preseason. And I could just think of certain quarterbacks at certain times that flashed and popped in the preseason the way that Shedeur did on Friday night. Now, again, I want to be very clear. One game, so we'll see. But you couldn't help watch that one game and not be impressed by what he did that night. He threw the ball really well. He was accurate. He was composed. He was poised. He was all the things that you want to see. And I think that's what you're looking for right away is guys show right away it's not too big for them. They belong. They can play, or it is too big for them and they can't play and they don't belong. And Shedeur looked like he belonged. And so, again, when I think back on quarterbacks in the preseason, Russell Wilson in 2012 popped right away. And that was an offseason in which the Seahawks paid a lot of money for Matt Flynn as a free agent quarterback, and they traded for Charlie Whitehurst. And I think back to when the Cowboys drafted Dak Prescott, and then he came on and lit it up in the preseason, played exceptionally well. And you could just watch those guys right away and say, they got it. They got it. And that's the way, for one game, it looked for Shedeur. But you know what? The one game now leads to conversations about how much time he's going to get in the second game. And because now you have to take a longer look. Now we got to see, okay, well, what was this about? Did we all miss on this guy in the draft? Did he fall farther than he should have? Was everybody right about him and the teams were wrong? Like, you had so many fans who thought he should go so high. You had Mel Kiper who thought he should go so high. And he goes to the 5th round. And now, and again, it was one game. I want to emphasize one game, but it was a great start. It was a great start.
And my entire thing has led to he could have played like ass.
Yeah.
And he didn't. He played great. So it's like, how do we judge? We can only judge off what we see. Now, who he's playing against, who he's playing with, not NFL. Okay, that's not the NFL.
Irrelevant.
No. But Shefty, I would like to say this, though. I'd like to say this. We have to remember he's 5th round pick. Okay, that's how the teams are going to view him. That's how Cleveland's going to view him because they invested that in him. So when you talk about playing in the preseason, it's like you're talking about how much time. Like this is when 5th round picks would be. I mean, this is their time. Mm-hmm. This is their shot. So any opportunity to get on the field, I think, is great. Even if he's not with guys that he's familiar with, this is the NFL. This is what preseason is for. Hopefully, he'll continue to go. Now, preseason also devastating for some teams every single year. Injuries happen. These injuries take place, and all of a sudden, before the season even begins, we don't even have a chance to have our full roster roster, especially with all of our talent. Left tackle for the Chargers, obviously, sad. I mean, absolutely devastating situation. Happy he got paid, and once again, this is why people look for deals as opposed to getting franchise tagged and everything like that, because you never know what's going to happen in a sport that is so combative and physical. Now, Matthew Stafford, I think McVay and everybody said he's going to be okay. Landon Dickerson, heartbreaker over there in Philly. Got carted out. Obviously, that offensive line, they are what they are. Lucas, Matt, Rondell Moore, Anthony, Najee, is there anything else we should be looking at? And how would you classify these injuries if you just kind of want to go through the list yourself?
Well, first of all, Alexander Madison, the Dolphins running back, goes down yesterday in the game against the Bears. Neck injury, gets taken by ambulance to a local hospital in Chicago, where he proceeds to undergo season-ending neck surgery. So you could add Alexander Madison to that list. There's a terrible injury, unfortunate, and I think they got a good prognosis from the surgery to where they think he'll be able to play again next year. But Rashawn Slater, he becomes the highest-paid offensive lineman in NFL history on July 27th, and then a mere 10 or so days later, basically ruptures his patella tendon and needs surgery, and he's out for the year. Matthew Stafford's been dealing with a back, but the Rams really, look, 36 years old, back, quarterback, going to take hits. Backs don't seem to get better, but I think he's going to be okay. I was in their building last week, and if they had a game right now, today, Matthew Stafford is playing.
Okay.
So they're trying to maintain him and make sure that he's going to be as healthy as he can be when the season opens. Landon Dickerson's having an MRI on his knee today. We'll see what comes back there. He's been a warrior in the NFL level, has not missed any time, but has a history of knee injuries in college that led to him falling into the second round. Lucas Niang out for the year. Matt Hennigan, torn Achilles. Rondale Price, knee injury. Sounds like the season's over. Anthony Richardson has been dealing with the pinky issue, which isn't long-term. And Najee Harris, you didn't include Deion Bush, the chief safety, who ruptured his Achilles on Saturday night. The Ravens have lost some rookie cornerbacks to knee injuries. Listen, it's the worst part of the preseason. Inevitably, guys come back, and these guys are so big and so strong and so fast.
Yeah, of course, agreed.
Some of these injuries, unfortunately, are inevitable. And to your point, though, this is why, if I'm Micah Parsons or Trey Hendrickson or Terry McLaurin, you got to be really careful. One practice.
Yeah, you need to remember that.
Millions.
You need to remember that whenever you're reporting your inside information from the teams. They've offered everything they possibly could to Trey Hendrickson. He needs to do that. And it's like you get shown these stats. Hey, there's a chance tomorrow you go out there one dip and rip, and your elbow, shoulder, knee, and ankle. I'll just give up. How about old buddy from the Ravens? Was that his?
Mike Green. Yeah.
Oh my, that's
bad.
That is what they are talking about whenever they talk about going around the edge. So that's scary stuff. It's no fun. It seems to happen every single preseason. Also, another injury not on there. Go ahead, D-Butch.
Jerry Jones mentioned that. Obviously, that's why he was kind of weary of paying guys. But speaking of Jerry Jones, his guy that wasn't on that list, and those are serious injuries, T's and P's. We got an update on CeeDee Lamb. We saw him take a hell of a shot on the sideline of the Cowboys preseason game. Any update on CeeDee?
Well, he got penalized on this play, which was one of the craziest highlights of the weekend. He has his hands up. The official collides. CeeDee Lamb goes down. It was the hardest hit he took all game. And he got penalized on the play. The league is reviewing it to see if there will be a fine that's necessary, which would obviously add insult to injury or money to injury. And fortunately, he's okay. Look, everybody's laughing and hugging him, but you get hit like that. I know it's just an official, but you're not expecting it. Who knows what can happen?
Official, to be clear, low man does win all the time.
Yeah.
And that official had pretty good.
He did good form.
Yeah, he showed up at training camp looking good, feeling good about the year. CeeDee Lamb. Oh, that would suck so bad.
By the way, rewind it again. Explain to me. You guys are football guys. What is he celebrating?
This guy's wide open. What do you think, Schefter?
Okay, he's wide open, yeah. Okay, But did they complete the pass? Did they score? No.
No, but Schefter, he's celebrating his boy. This is the wide receiver room. And he's literally pointing at him saying, hey, we got him. We got him. We got him.
Probably knew the call, knew it was going to be a double move.
Cowboys in a nutshell.
See, that's him scoring a touchdown if this is called in the regular season. That is, he knew the call, knew the coverage, knew everything. Hey, this is going to be this guy, right? And it is. Touchdown.
Knew it.
Touchdown. And the ref's like outfielder running for a home run.
Yeah, right into the wall.
With his whole face is on CeeDee's back.
Yeah, and he's got a stiff chest when he's running, too. I mean, that's
great posture, great belt technique by the ref. But we always get told on that sideline, regardless of what level of football, but especially in NFL, get back, stay off the white. Usually a get back coach or someone. CeeDee knows. I mean, he's used to being on the field, obviously, but he knows. I'm sure he'll get a talking to. If that was a player a little lower in the roster, it'd be a bigger deal, but they'll probably find him just to make it a bigger statement across the league, because that is a big deal for refs to do their job.
Did the ref finish the game, Chef?
Of course.
Yeah, he's probable for this week. He'll be back for preseason week 2. He's raring to go.
He should be on All-Pro team.
All right, let's talk a little bit more about one. He should be. Hey, that ref.
Yeah.
He's the official of the All-Pro team. Bro, you're running really fast. Bro, a little awareness. Ref, hope you're all right, ref.
Good work, bro.
Good work, bro. Great work, bro. Go ahead, Tone.
Yeah, Schefty, I wanted to ask about another player in Dallas, one that we also did not see on the field. Micah Parsons. He did a thank you Dallas situation where he put out. It was a long note section. Are we anywhere new on the Jerry and Micah and getting a new contract? Is he going to be there week 1? Do we know?
See, also, can I quickly, Micah? When we screenshot that, we can't be repeating sentences. You can edit that thing, screenshot it, put it down, so then we don't have to go back through. And I read this thing 4 times.
Right.
Anyways, but Micah, I appreciate you getting your thoughts out there, and I like that you use your notes section. I also use notes section. This is wonderfully put together, and I think you thanked everybody. But I was not happy about the Micah. You got your own show. You got a big brain. You're a smart guy. You get the biz. You can just
crop it down.
Crop it down. Come on. Message still got across there, Schefty. I read it 4 times.
It's a lot.
It was a lot. A lot of words.
You didn't read it.
I did. I read it twice. Dev, you read it?
No.
Yeah. That's why you don't know what I'm saying. So, like, the end of this sentence is not the beginning of the next picture. It is like, find it in the middle.
We go 3 sentences back to start
and then you got to go. So, you know what I mean? Like, hey, picture 1, we should just have a thing. Picture 2, page 2, we're going to new stuff. You know what I mean?
Agreed.
I'm OG notes screenshot sender.
Yeah.
OG.
I'm new school. Just chat GPT. Summarize this in 3 sentences.
Oh, my God. See, that's not good.
That's a problem.
That's not good.
Not reading it.
Have you seen the brain memes about the chat GPT people?
I don't believe it.
And the studies.
I like that.
Did chat GPT tell you to say that?
Maybe.
Let me ask chat GPT what my thoughts are on how chat GPT is affected by
Very
brain.
nice.
Anyways, go ahead, Schefty. Sorry, buddy. We ruined all that.
That's okay. Micah, I think it's unbelievable that statement came out about 10 days ago. And since that statement came out, there have been 0 contract talks between the Dallas Cowboys and Micah Parsons. Now, you would think that something like that would trigger some conversation to get everybody, all sides, in one room to try to get a deal done. And in fact, it feels like it's done the opposite. It feels like Micah is disappointed and bothered by the way the Cowboys have done their business. It feels like the Cowboys are bothered and disappointed that Micah would make his feelings known like that, ask for a trade. Jerry Jones felt like he had a deal in place with Micah that isn't going to get done right now. And now, all of a sudden, there are a whole host of new issues that we have to ask if these two sides are unwilling to talk, which has been the case, and unwilling to negotiate. So, okay, now we got Micah Parsons, who says he has back tightness, and he's not practicing.
Oh, classic.
Back.
You remember the hamstring in the NBA? That's a good one.
Yep.
Back tight. I'll bet you back tightness can linger for a long time, and back tightness.
Hope he's healthy.
Usually lingers when contract negotiations usually are not progressing. So the Cowboys opened their regular season 3 weeks from Thursday night against the Philadelphia Eagles, and Jerry Jones himself has said that he doesn't know and might not expect Micah to play in that opening game against the Eagles. And so now they're making no progress. They're not talking about a new deal. And unless things change, you have to wonder where this is going. The Cowboys have said
Jay-Z never called me back.
They're not interested in trading him. They're not. That's what they say. But at some point in time, if you're not going to sign the guy, then you're going to move the guy. There's two choices: sign him or trade him. And right now, they're not talking contract. He's got a tight back. And so who knows where this is.
Hey, my question for you, Schefter, with all this, and the tight back, obviously we hope he's okay. He's a special talent on a football field. We would hope to watch him all year. But if that back does get a little bit better, if you sleep on a pile of money, we also have seen this in the past in this entire thing. As your connection goes unstable in this entirety. Jerry Jones said Jay-Z. Is this real? I've been seeing a lot of quotes about him dealing with Jay-Z with Rock Nation Agency back in the day.
Oh, I didn't.
Jerry didn't negotiate deals with agents. Why does this continue to be talked about as if this is like his thing? Like, I don't talk to the agent. It's like, how have you got everybody represents himself that plays for the Cowboys?
Yeah, no. I think over time, Jerry has had a history of doing some of his biggest deals with some of his most well-known players. Exactly, a handshake, Pat. He gets them in, he's talking to them. And in this particular case, Jerry felt like he had a deal, but Micah and his agent never felt like there was a deal. There's no paper, there's no contract, there's nothing that was presented.
Jerry feels like he was wronged.
Yeah. So there's two different interpretations of the events that went on in the discussions between Jerry and Micah. The bottom line is they're nowhere right now, and it feels like the state of the relationship has gotten worse. And again, it's going to be really interesting to see how tight Micah's back is on opening night.
Yeah, I hope we see Micah. I hope they get a deal done. I'm going to say this. For how good of a player Micah has been, with being a first-round pick for the Dallas Cowboys, with the night he gets drafted saying he dreamt of being a Dallas Cowboy and all that, for him to go into his 5th year of his rookie contract without a new deal is abnormal. Not just for, like, Dallas Cowboys. I think just for that position, that player, for any team, first-rounder, for you to hit like you hit and not get a deal done going into the 5th round, very abnormal. Going into the 4th year, abnormal.
Yeah.
Going into the 5th year, which is the bonus year that they had to tag on top of them, let alone the 2 franchise tag years we got ahead of this. Very abnormal. This is a very weird situation in my eyes.
Weird.
And Jerry, he's got a documentary coming out here in about 8 days.
That's right.
The Gambler and the Cowboys. America's Team, August 19th, 2025. I wonder if the last chapter would be him and Mike. Micah doesn't know I had him mic'd up. We were talking in one of my rooms. We agreed to a deal. You say we didn't agree. It's right here. It's in the documentary. America's Team.
Shook hands.
The Gambler and the Cowboy. Old school. So he feels like he was wronged, is what you're saying. Like business-wise, he feels like he was bamboozled by Micah. Is that kind of the thought? Because if that is the case, I think Jerry's the type of guy. Is that how this is being? And we lose him. That's a big piece of information here. This is a big piece of information.
That's why I understand maybe he's done that in the past. But if you are Micah and you're playing this position, this is a position that Myles Garrett reset it. T.J. Watt just jumped him. And you're right in line. Like you said, he's done everything right from day one. Even last year, like he was battling through some injuries when he could have easily set out, looking forward to getting his contract done. And when you're Micah and you have one of the best agents in the game representing you, it would be like terrible for you, and I'm sure that PA wouldn't want him to do this anyway to represent yourself in these negotiations. Oh, let me shake your hand because this is how you've done it. That's ridiculous. This is too much money at stake for Micah to do. Now Jerry, he can do it. He's going to be around for his business is going to be there forever in his family. But Micah, he did the right thing. Get your business done right, man.
Yeah, and also I'm okay with deals getting done via handshake, just for future reference. But got to hammer out all the details on paper.
Yeah.
I mean, that is legitimately how it all works. Hey, Schefter, we're kind of hypothesizing about the entire situation here. So Jerry believes, and this has probably already been reported, so I apologize. We're on beach.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Somewhere on the beach, I'm strong, new baby. She's awesome. All day long. Jerry feels wronged by Micah because they had a handshake deal that Micah then reneged on in this entire thing. That's how he views it.
I think Jerry feels like they had the makings of a deal, if not an agreement in place. He talked to reporters last week about the fact that when he bought the Cowboys, it was a handshake deal. That's what he said. And he's done a lot of handshake deals over time. And again, Micah feels like he never saw a contract, never agreed to anything. His agent never signed off on anything. And so there are a whole host of issues there. And again, you mentioned Micah's draft class. If you look it up, look at all the players around him and in front of him that have already been paid. Any good player in front of him, from Jamar Chase to Devontae Smith to Penei Sewell to
Surtain.
Most of those, J.C. Horn, Surtain, they've all been paid already. And Micah has not been. And so he's watching his draft class all get paid. He's watching the top pass rushers across the league, whether it's Max Crosby, Danielle Hunter, Miles, T.J. Watt, all get paid, and he's not. Not only is he not paid, his own team is not even talking to him, and he feels insulted by what they've said about him in the summer. So, again, I just think it's a situation that's gone the opposite direction, and they're further apart from the deal today than they were in, let's just say, March or early April.
Jeez.
So he was 12th overall in that particular draft. If you were to not just take against his draft class, who all got paid, I think if you were to take him, his stats, his draft thing, and also saying, I dreamt of being on this team on draft night, and put him into their, like the simulation, everybody's getting paid on their fourth year. Everybody.
Yeah.
Micah needs to go back into his office, though, brother. Micah, you need to go back in there. You got to do one of these things. I think if you want to get a deal done, I think that's what you're probably going to have to do. Just after watching Jerry and Landman, you know, it feels like that, especially the way he talks about it. I'm not saying it's right or wrong, because people can forget how a handshake's supposed to go, too, you know? Some people can have one view of what a handshake deal looks like, and the others have another view of what the handshake deal actually is. And then whenever it gets put on paper, it's like, wait a minute, we didn't talk about this particular thing, and then you can get pretty offended. So I think he should go back in there and shake his hand. But I also think he should have been paid already. And I'm also starting to think Jerry maybe that thing used to go 96. I think we're throwing BP maybe.
88.
Yeah, I think we might be throwing BP all of a sudden. Yeah, I'll watch the Gambler and the Cowboys for sure. But, I mean, there's a chance. Okay, let's talk about somebody else that maybe, I don't know if he won't get paid before his fifth year. Will the fifth year even happen?
Yeah, that's a good question.
We're talking about super hype.
Okay.
A lot of hype. Most hype that I've heard in some time.
Generational hype.
Go ahead, comment.
Yeah, Schefter, obviously a lot of the quarterbacks play, not all of the quarterbacks play, but the biggest ones, you know, Mahomes, Burrow, some other guys also. Caleb Williams, kind of in that category of dudes you would expect to see in preseason week one, new offense, the whole nine with Ben Johnson. We don't see any Caleb Williams instead. Some speculation on the internet is claiming that he did not play because he does not know how to run Ben Johnson's offense yet. Is that the case? And how closely should we be looking at Chicago as a spot that's not a prove-it year for the quarterback, but definitely a pivotal year in his organizational kind of tenure for Chicago?
Yeah. Well, I think what happened here is that the Dolphins got to Chicago last week on Wednesday, and they had intra-squad scrimmages where coaches can control that, and Caleb got plenty of work against the Dolphins. And so if you're not going to stick out your regulars and you're not going to stick your first-team offensive line in, oftentimes you don't want to stick your quarterback in there.
Amen.
And I think Ben Johnson felt like Caleb got the work in a controlled environment that he needed to. Now, I will say this. It's a little odd that in the same game, Tua Tagovailoa is out there playing in a preseason game, and Caleb Williams is not. Joe Burrow, who hasn't played in a preseason ever, is out there this weekend. And Caleb Williams, who's learning a new offense, is not. So it seems a little odd in that sense, but I'm just telling you that their thinking was that Caleb got to go against the Dolphins in practice all week long in a controlled setting where he gets to wear a jersey, where he's not subjected to hits, and they got the work that they felt they needed to get in with him during the course of last week without having to put him out there Sunday and risking injury behind a backup offensive line.
All right, I respect that move. I do. And I respect the way Ben Johnson, that guy's back with the Chargers. Can't wait to see what he does. I respect that Ben Johnson is trying to change the culture there, too. Seemingly a little bit more accountability-driven, a little bit more hard-nosed, a little bit more of a hard ass. Feels like he got juiced up. I think there was a 4th and goal stop that they had. He's out on the field flexing. I think Miami got them back later with a 4th and goal stop as well on the other side. It was a good joust between these teams. I will say there were some moments in there. The Caleb shit's, there he is. There's the actual flex I was talking about. The Caleb stuff on the internet is loud. Should it be? What are you hearing out of Chicago? Like Connor talked about it being maybe a prove-it year. Sean Payton goes into Denver as your mid-blink there. I know, take it all in. He goes out to Denver and has the capability basically to move on from Russell Wilson if it doesn't work out. Ben Johnson went there because of Caleb. He's there to make Caleb good. What is the pressure on Caleb this year? And what is the reality of the situation currently?
I think that there's pressure on every quarterback every year, and they did everything to uplift Caleb this year. From hiring the head coach to all the moves that they made, they went out and traded for 2 offensive linemen. They signed They signed Drew Dalman in free agency. They trade for Jonah Jackson. They trade for Joe Thuney. They hire a coach to elevate Caleb. This is all designed to make sure that Caleb Williams is a massive success because that's the type of talent that he has. So, yeah, of course there's pressure on him because everything they've done has been geared to making him better. So it's up to him. Now, if this season went on and he didn't play well, that pressure is going to only rise next year. It's going to get ratcheted up. But I think there's pressure on all these guys every year. Everybody's watching to see how it goes. And this organization, I think, has given him everything that he could want to play to the best of his abilities.
Come on, Caleb. We can't wait to watch. There's some Caleb shit that he can do that nobody else could do. And we're excited to watch it. Hopefully all come to fruition. Last question here is we have Mr. Dana White joining us in about a minute and a half.
Shefty, where do we stand on the Colts QB battle? It seemed like going into their first game against the Ravens, the tide had kind of turned, and Anthony Richardson, everyone talked about how good he had looked, new body, all that kind of stuff. And then very early on, he gets smacked in the teeth real hard, dislocates his pinky. Shane Steichen did mention today that he's full go in practice today. He's good. He's going to play on Saturday against the Packers, although Danny Dimes will start. What are you hearing about this battle? Because going into the game, it certainly did seem like it was Anthony Richardson's job to lose.
Well, it did, and now it still seems like it's a battle that hasn't been decided, and it still feels like a battle that's going to play itself out here in the final couple of weeks of the preseason. I don't think the Colts sound ready to make a decision just yet. And Anthony Richardson obviously needs to do a better job at picking up blitz, seeing things, recognizing certain situations, and most important, whether it was or wasn't his fault, staying healthy. I know it's not his fault. This guy comes around, he doesn't respond quick enough, somebody missed him, whatever it may be. But it's another injury. Fortunately, it was not more severe. He's able to bounce back. But I don't think this team has decided who its quarterback is going to be yet. I think the job is there to be won still, and one of these guys is going to have to go out and win it the next couple of weeks.
Saw a lot of quarterbacks say, hey, you got to know that that's coming. But then also I saw a lot of people who are fans of the game say, nope, that guy should have been blocked. So, I mean, there's a lot of conjecture about it. All I know is he's still playing. That's a big shot.
Yeah,
that was a very big shot.
I remember Luck taking a shot almost exactly like that in the actual game. But yeah, I mean, who knows who
Good job,
was
man.
on? Looks like who knows who was on? But yeah, you got to stay healthy. Your ability is the best. Availability.
We're still believe ours, brother. All right, we appreciate
Come on,
you. Safe travels, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Schefter.
Yeah, Shefty.